I'm looking forward to this one. Here's a little plugin that I've come up with fairly recently. I was exploring ideas in IIR filtering, because IIR filters have some great qualities. You can do them with no latency. They can be very high transparency and really hang on to the tonality that you want. And I was just thinking about ways of combining them and making filters that, why don't I just show you? First of all, this is a pretty decent thing for demonstrating this because it's the bass and the treble and so on and so forth. I know, same thing. In a minute, I'm going to do I have a plugin coming up where I will ruin this for you, but here's Capacitor. Not much of a difference. This does not hurt the sound very much when you turn it on and off. You might even call it subtle. We're not getting a lot of damage here, sound-wise. You might call it subtle, but you'd be wrong. It's like a synthesizer or something. It's about 10 dB per octave, but I think that's deceptive. There's your low pass. Here's your high pass. I'm loving this filter. Now you'll notice there is a quirk. The way this guy works, there is a single artifact around 14K or so at 44.1K. In normal use, you won't notice it. It's when you're doing crazy things, and it's just that one, and it's an incredibly narrow notch. So that's how this works. This is also partly, well, there are many reasons why nobody has this, and one of the reasons is nobody else has done this algorithm. It's all about the algorithm. It's about running different kinds of IR filters in a particular way. It's about the sequence of adds and multiplies and subtracts and the ways in which the high pass and low pass are interleaved. There's a lot of fancy stuff that some programmers would be like, why would that have an effect? Well, I'm here to tell you, this has an effect. And we can get crazy sounds out of this with huge depth and transparency and tonality. You can zero in on about any area that you want. Let's go down to the low mids. Nope, that's the low frequencies. Here, let's have some thumps. But no, I said low mids. Let's have low mids. How about here? So those are nice low mids. We'll also notice that, unlike the raw signal, which has a fair amount of deep sub material, I can cut that off pretty steeply. We got a big boost around here, and we've got this nice little dry wet control. So I can treat it as a sort of presence peak. Like the sound of this? Wait, there's more. Let's do a crazy mid-rangey presence peak. These are usually... Here's how you get obnoxious, ugly sound, is you find a narrow presence peak in the upper mid-range that really kind of hurts, and then the filter will engage, and you'll hear the kind of ringing and the unnatural quality of it. I could let treble in here, but let's roll it off. And let's come down a little bit so we can hear the honk. I'm trying to find the honk of that synthesizer that's going. So that's a boxy kind of sound, right? I've narrowed it so much there's not that much energy there, but that's pretty obnoxious. Then we go to the dry wet, and we start sneaking in that tonality. Sounds pretty natural, huh? You can use this to emphasize stuff like that, bring up presence peaks in a really natural way. Now let's use it to do a crazy high frequency boost. We'll lower the high pass and we'll leave the low pass completely cranked. That's this. And then same deal with the dry wet. And that means we can boost. How's that for a natural sounding high frequency boost? And of course we can soften it too. Or go back to full bright. Low frequency cut. Listen to the way that kick drum just goes away. Bye bye, kick drum. Now let's make the hats go away too. So that's almost like a more distant sound. So we can use dry wet and combine them. Excuse me. It has that weird little thing around 14K some of the time. That's just how the algorithms work. The reason I have this is because I know not to do crazy radical things trying to get that little quirk out of there. This one has to have a little quirk. That's how it works. And it's my new favorite high pass and low pass. It's my new favorite trapping in sounds so that you have the accentuation of the parts you want. It's super clean when you have them bypassed. You're not going to hear a thing. And there's even one more thing as well, which I can show. No zipper noise. Because this is so much like a synthesizer, I knew people would want to work the controls violently. So, no zipper noise. It's acting like an analog synth for you. For those people who want to do crazy isolator type effects, go in here and then all of a sudden, or you got this going. Oh, here's a quirk. Check this out. I can leave this little spike behind sometimes. Not that time. Interesting. Sometimes I can leave a little spike at the 14K using the high pass. Point being, if they're both a little bit off of their extremes, you have the most smooth behavior. We do this kind of stuff, we don't see that much of a quirk here, either a boost or a spike. But yeah, completely smoothed, so is dry wet. Because I knew you'd want to be using controllers or whatever and just going nuts in these controls. It's such fun to do. Capacitor is an audio unit and Mac and PC VST. It is free. Download it and go nuts and have all the fun in the world with this. It's supported by my Patreon. I do a Patreon. That's how I keep doing new things like this. Capacitor did not exist before I started doing the Patreon. It's an original work. I didn't have this algorithm. And I have this algorithm because I've been able to continue using the Patreon and keep doing this work. I hope you have as much fun with this as I'm going to have. Because I get to have extra kinds of fun. I get to use these filters in upcoming plugins too. And that's going to be great. Talk to you later.